we're going there. We're going here.
We're going, dude.
Yeah, I got mine. I just poured it.
Nice,
so.
dude. You make a coffee in here?
Yeah.
So this is just water now.
I'm on the Nescafe
Nice.
espresso. I've tried all the. I've done so far Combat coffee is my favorite. It's like El Combat or something. That's pretty good. And
I have some like instant. What do you call that? Death coffee. What's it called? God damn it, dude.
Oh, the liquid death.
No. Death Wish coffee.
Death Wish?
Yeah. I got a bunch of free shit like that on all those heavy metal tours.
Yeah.
And they make like individual packs too, just to go if you need to, or you get the big old bags. But
yeah.
You want to see me look not smart?
Yeah.
See, I did it wrong. This is my girls.
All right.
I mean, it's good. It's proof of you're not going to spill shit, but it makes
You're
me
a
look
podder because you kicked it off like a pod.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to try to bring it back.
Keep it for the radio. Keep it formal. Whatever you want to do. Take it away from me.
So we're here with Jay the S. Jake.
Uncle Sam.
Fraczek.
Pretty good, dude. Pretty
right,
good.
yeah.
You might have practiced that before. That's a hard
I actually didn't. I dove right off the cliff there.
It's pretty good, dude. Most people butcher that, so.
Word. I'm going to drop one soon with a guy I met out here whose name is... you'll see it, but I hit him. I put all the Spanish, all the flavor on his name.
Oh, nice.
And he was like, nah, man, like, it's a black name. It's not like that. He's like, you don't need to do all that. I was like, oh, my bad, bro.
That's great.
He's like, I had a feeling when you said, like, hasta mañana to me yesterday, this was coming.
Yeah,
I was like, shit. I was like, so proud. But anyway, man, welcome. You're in the van.
I feel great in here.
You asked if it could get hot. You feel how hot it gets already with that fan on?
Yeah, it's true.
quick.
It cuts it off. And you're in the sun more than I am, so I guess I'm
laced.
fortunate. I'm wearing fucking dark jeans.
Enjoy them. Yeah.
It's nice to keep the heat right on my
nice and
little
sweaty,
pale thighs,
man.
dude.
We'll get nice and sweaty. So I was trying to think before we did this, because I want to bring people like full circle. I believe we met at Church Boston.
That sounds right.
The band in my head is Blue and Gold.
Blue Gold, my
Blue
band.
Gold
Yeah,
is what it was
my
called.
band, yeah.
I have no idea why that's still up there.
all right, that's
but Blue
good.
Gold. And
Hopefully it's in there for a good reason.
yeah, you were on your like frontman steez. You had the long hair.
My hair was quite like yours is.
Yeah, yours was more. Mine feels wilder. Yours felt more like manicured.
Oh, nice. That was a nice one, dude. I like the way you slipped that little.
Yeah, no, I mean in a good way. Like. But you were on your rock star frontman vibe. Like you probably had a silk shirt on or something.
Yeah, or probably something like fabric that does. Yeah, I wouldn't damage a silk shirt on stage,
Okay.
but maybe I would. I don't know.
So I think I met you there, and then I didn't see you again for years. But we actually didn't see each other again until I got to
Really?
LA.
Is
Not
that true?
I know of, man.
I thought I would have seen you a couple times, probably at church or the Middle East or something.
Do you ever remember hanging out in Boston though? Because I don't.
Just at venues and shit.
Yeah,
at
maybe
shows.
like a yo, what up?
Yeah. See you
Peace.
like at different shows.
But I wanted to bring people like through this transition from Boston to LA. So like Boston first, you know, a lot of people in Boston know you. A lot of people coming up don't. So probably the biggest thing. What high school?
I went to, for 3 years, I went to a boarding school in Western Massachusetts.
Okay.
So, and there was kids from Boston there too, which is cool.
Yeah.
There's kids I wasn't friends with that I'm still friends with now. That was nice. And it wasn't far away. You take a bus back in like 2 hours or whatever.
Okay.
But it was in like the cut. It was big. It wasn't like a boarding school like blue blazers and fucking, skull and bones handshakes.
Yeah.
It's like 1,500 kids and like girls with pink hair, fucking, nose rings and shit.
Really?
I mean, there was like the jock kids too, but it was
Yeah.
a big artsy school too.
Okay.
So, and they played sports against those other kind of prep schools. I didn't play sports. I was like a skater.
Okay.
So it was great. I could just do like artsy shit and chill, skate and fuck off. Or if you wanted to be the hockey star, the football star, you could do that.
Okay.
But that was cool because I got to meet like just people from all over the world and just different walks of life that I never would have. And man, it's important. I think it's not important, but if you really want to see some shit, getting exposed to different kinds of people is going to do it. And I had friends who never left certain neighborhoods growing up or even left Boston, and I still haven't. And to get exposed to so much more and hanging out with kids still that I'm friends with from like fucking Hong Kong or New York or fucking Venezuela or whatever, like damn, that shit was a blessing, dude. And I probably didn't recognize it as much back then because I was just psyched. I was out of my crazy home life and I was wilding, I was having a blast, getting in trouble out there. And, but I was very lucky to have that experience.
Yeah, but you're from Dorchester, right?
No. Most of the time in Jamaica Plain. My mom's
Oh,
family is from Charlestown.
Oh, because you mentioned something about Marky Mark's church. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
why I thought
I
you
worked
were...
there in Charlotte.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
when I was
okay.
older, and my mom, that which is in Dorchester, but I didn't know. My mom's family is like Charlestown, and then my father's family is from Springfield, Mass, where I was born, in Western Mass, which is like the big city up there.
Yep.
Basketball Hall of Fame.
Brand new casino.
Oh, dude, I've been there. I was there with Slayer. I stayed in that hotel. It's depressing casino, as most are.
That one seemed like it was literally designed just to suck up money. I mean,
that's
they all
what it
are,
was.
but like that
downtown
was like,
Springfield isn't like the nice downtown like other cities. It's really grimy actually.
Yeah.
Downtown is pretty rough. So I don't think bringing a casino really does much more than bring in some extra hookers and some extra drugs.
Pretty
and
much.
some like average ass restaurants.
Yeah.
But Springfield's, I got love for Springfield.
So
in
JP
general.
in Charlestown. Though?
Yeah, JP Moore, really. That's
Yeah.
more of my formative years.
Yeah.
I love that phrase, dude. That's a great phrase.
The formative years. Yeah, no. So you grew up in there. So you were all over immediately then, from like a youth.
Dude, I mean, first in the West Indies.
Yeah.
So Island Montserrat, real quick. I was like a couple months, and then we moved to Nevis and St. Kitts, these sister islands, and then to the U.S. when I was like 5.
Okay.
And then bounced around. Yeah.
And you flew back and forth like.
Oh yeah, even after that, I would go back for like long periods of time. Still had a house there for a while, so like go back, maybe go to school for a while, a couple months, flip flop.
Dude, I'm just like, because I've read the book too, and this like kind of is in the book,
inspires the
but
questions.
it's like, yeah, your story is so, because you're so Boston. Like anyone listening to this, like just they can hear it in your voice, and you're yeah, fucking Hong Kong, and fucking like it's so Boston how you tell the stories and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's so global at the same time.
Thank you. I've tried to I've looked at my experiences, especially since I started writing and shit more, and like wow, I think in my mind I was limiting my existence almost to too much. Like I don't want to be where I'm from. Like not to shortchange anyone who takes a lot of pride in where they're from. That's beautiful, and sometimes that's all you got.
Yeah.
But that's not all I got. I've been around the world. I grew up outside of this country. I've traveled for work. I've seen so much and hung out with different kind of peoples that I don't want to be limited and just be like, oh, that's this kid from Boston or that's this kid from New York or what. Like, I don't want that to encapsulate me.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, when people read my shit, you get all those stories. Like Boston gave me a lot of style and game and shit, so like that's not going to be eroded.
Yeah.
But I've been consciously, probably, that sounds so pretentious, like not trying to let it encapsulate me though.
No, I get you though.
Yeah.
I get you. So you're all over, but then meeting at church, the Blue and Gold, you had, like even by that time you had sort of a bunch of different styles of rap career even in Boston. Can you talk just a little bit about because that was a time where there wasn't like media or anything really going on in Boston. It's kind of this like time that people know about through like word of mouth and
old fashioned.
Yeah.
I mean, what Uncle Sam's referring to is like when I had my band Blue Gold, that came at the end kind of out of like, I started like breakdancing when I was little, and that wasn't for me.
No.
I liked it. It didn't like me.
Okay.
And then I was an artist, so I got into graffiti, and I liked the idea of sneaking out at night and breaking the law at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I had friends who would go on to be legendary graffiti writers, but I didn't stick with it. And then like I just started fucking around freestyling in my teenage years because I had friends, older brothers with records, and so when I just got into hip hop, like it was, I was coming from a pure background. I don't, I don't know. I'm not trying to get all chaos.
No, but it was already the
elements.
third element you tried. Like it was the third one. Yeah.
But I mean, I really had an appreciation for it more than just like, oh, I like watching rap videos on BET and MTV. I want to do that. Like I had appreciation for this culture that I grew up with. And so, before I was even trying to make music, I would just go to like open mics all over the city. I'd go to like Critical Breakdown, which would be in the Villa Victoria in the South End, in this housing development there. They had like a cultural center. I'd go there. I'd go to Chevu Roller Skating Rink in Mattapan, like house parties all over. I'd take like the T all the way out and go to like Tufts if the university had some open mic. And this is when I'm young. And then battling and shit, and I didn't even care much for battling. It was just a good way to catch wreck. You don't get some attention. And then doing shows. And then, you put out, some dudes want to put out your records. And now you get a college radio single that's number 1 or number 2. Then you're playing shows and you're opening. Then you move to New York and you get another manager. And now you're on the blogs and you travel. And now you're playing a show at South by Southwest or A3C in Atlanta, New York, Vegas, whatever. And it's fun. And I was like doing well, and I was, starting to see like potential for more. It was being like the carrot of success was getting dangled in my face, and I started deviating from just doing always what I wanted to do and doing a little bit more of what people say. Look, you do this kind of record, you make this kind of shit, you might get this. And it's not, I can't blame them. I still ultimately made the choices, the changes or whatever, and I wasn't really thrilled with that, and I was just really, like at my height of my solo rap career, I just was so not into the industry. I was really I was moved back from New York to Boston, and I was like fucking pretty upset, bitter at a lot of things, and I just wanted to stretch my creative wings. So that's when I started that band Blue Gold with my boy Franco, who's a New Yorker, sick, most talented musician I know, and we've been working together for years. And I was like, look, I want to do this thing. I don't want to do a rap rock band. This isn't fucking Limp Bizkit. I want to do something that's kind of funky and like groovy. It taps into like maybe like bluesy shit, but with like mid-90s BPMs behind it. And he was a great writer and producer, and so me and him would always collaborate. So we started this band, and we took a little while to find the sound. Yeah. And that was when I met you, is when I was doing that, and it was my way to like still stretch my creative wings and just like fuck. I was just like, dude, I had records like on Hot 97 and Jam at 94.5, and I was like, you know what, fuck this, because I was so mad at some of the choices I was making creatively.
Word, I appreciate that, because I didn't even fully know, like, you were a name that when I got there and started trying to figure out what was going on, like you were someone who had done stuff, and I didn't really know.
Take off, I suppose.
But even at that moment, like, it was clear you had changed gears or something. So and like I said, these stories weren't told back then. So I was like, Jay the S is a guy. Like, you should know that guy. Like, he does shit. Like, so that's cool. It's funny how you told that whole story so quickly, but it used to work like that. You're just freestyling, and then someone wants to put out your record, and now you're in New York.
I won a couple battles to get people to put out my record that were pretty big. Like, I won the biggest one I won was called the Super Bowl battle, which was like the biggest battle in New England. Dudes from LA, New York, everyone would come, and you couldn't just get it. You had to like known for winning some battles in the New England area. Then you had to audition for it, and I got in because I'd won some other smaller battles, and then I won that one, and people were like, oh shit, and then some dudes wanted to put out some shit of mine, and I'd never really recorded
such a
professionally.
Cool feeling,
I would always just fuck through. I've recorded fucking around, but really never trying to make music. So I was like, all right, I wanted to write songs. Now I got to write some fucking songs, and I'll shout out these dudes who really helped me with that. My man Rocco, and he really helped, like, sitting there like structuring songs and shit. And
it's different, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is like right at the beginning too. So we're talking still like your more basic hip hop songs. I'm not talking about writing pop smashes. Yeah. But I was like, 16 hook, but like, looking at it differently. How do we build the beats? Shit like that.
That's cool, man. It seems like you just really went with the flow. Have you always been a flow guy?
I don't know if I'm very much a flow guy.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted to do this shit. Like, I loved hip hop, and I liked expression, and so music was my new. It was my new painting and drawing. It was my new skateboarding. It was like, I'm going to express myself through this. I wanted to do it, and now I was getting more opportunities to. So I was already going that way, but I don't know if I'm too good with the flowy.
Okay.
If you were like making plans for dinner and it's like 7:30, 8ish, I'm like, fine, whatever. I'll go with that flow.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like my creativity, dude, I'm like, I don't really like to bend or break too much from what I feel in here, what I see in this.
Okay.
Which has caused me problems. But.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. I mean, that's why when they say, hey, maybe if you sounded like this, your instinct was, fuck off. I'm going all the way over here.
I did a little for that, and the shitty feeling was like awful. That's why like with this writing shit, like, nah, I'm never going down that route.
So speaking of which, so then you did all these things in Boston and whatnot, New York, and back and forth to the islands, and then you came out to LA. And so was your somehow you ended up touring with Slayer.
Oh yeah.
Was your goal like
that shit fell in? That was very good with the flowy. That shit fell in my fucking lap, dude. That was continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I guess my question was like, was your goal when you came out to LA just to be in the industry in some capacity?
Dude, nah, not at all. I didn't come out to LA with really like musical aspirations or acting aspirations. I just like always wanted to. I needed to get out of Boston, out of the East Coast. I like the weather. I had a lot of friends here, family here, so I just did.
And you're a big surfer too.
Yeah, so. Not even at the time. Like that's
really?
I was getting into it more. So this was another opportunity to like take that a little further. Not for like aspirations of being anything other, just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been down to work in, entertainment and music because that was the only thing I had real experience in, but I wasn't like, I'm going to make it here as an actor, or like, I didn't want to do that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, not the acting thing.
But you ended up in Slayer?
That shit fell in my lap, dude. My boy was working for this company that had all these big-ass artists, this clients, a tour company. I met the guy who owned the company with him one night. The guy fucking liked me, just thought I was cool, thought I was great. And they did like, hip hop, metal, indie rock, like old classic rock, whatever. And then he just got this new client. And the night he met me, I had like black leather jacket on, like tattoos. He's like, I got this new client, Slayer, dude. Like, do you want to do this? I was like, I've never done anything like this. He's like, you'll learn on your feet. And I think he just thought I was a metal guy because I had like, my hair wasn't even long at the time, actually, either.
Yeah.
He just thought I was. And I know Slayer and like some metal bands from skate videos. And I liked them, but I don't know that whole world. And I got thrown into it. And then like, I ended up working for like a lot of metal bands, and it was weird. But it just fell in my lap, and I was really good at the job.
Okay.
Came easy, and I kept getting paid more and traveling the world to do it. And it gave me a lot of downtime to write, like I was working on Quicksand and podcast and shit. And so it afforded me a lot of time to still do my creative shit. And it wasn't like I was in a 9-to-5 office job. I was wearing whatever I wanted, talking however I wanted, using my natural talents in this cool other way to still work in art and music, but I didn't have to deal with like people I didn't like,
Yeah. Real quick, do you mind elaborating what the job was?
Oh, so I did a few things. I did like security coordination and then like VIP coordination for artists. So like, if a bunch of guys from magazines want to take pictures of the band, like the moat between the crowd and the stage is a thing. All right, I bring those guys in there. I let them take their photos. Okay, boom, I get them out of there safely because there's pyro or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like, press interview, people want to come backstage, or like the band's girlfriends or people, or like the guys who pay, fucking $1,000 to shake hands with the band. Or like play ping pong with certain artists or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd bring them back there, do all that shit. So I would talk to large groups of crowds, be fun and cool, but still have to be on point, meet with the security guys in the venue, be like, hey, this is what this pass is. These are real. These are guest passes. They can't come backstage. We've got to have security at this door, at that door, at these times. And these people are going to come here. Shit like that.
That's wild. And you got threw into basically protecting the band.
No, I wasn't like that. They had like their main dude who's like, that's all he does is roll with them.
Yeah.
And like there was a few of them. One of them was my boy.
They had some hardcore dudes.
Yeah. Well, when I first started working with Slayer, they didn't have anybody. The crew just did it. The roadies, like the guitar techs, bass techs, like the production manager, like you saw someone starting to get on stage, he was like, boom, like straight up. And like you would see this all the time, dude.
Yeah.
All the time. And then, then they would get usually some big dudes. I had a friend from Boston who was, he's gotta be 6'6", 300, and just covered head to toe tattoos, just giant dude. And he's like one of those dudes.
Well, it got serious after Dimebag. They started to realize like, uh-oh.
I just told somebody that story the other night about like, dude just ran up on stage and shot him.
Yeah.
And
a shotgun too.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane how it even.
I mean, I toured with Pantera. Opened up. Well, not Pantera. It was Phil. His like other band.
Oh, Phil's other band.
Yeah, the Illegals, which is pretty dope.
He's had so many bands.
Yeah, his newer band, his newest band.
Okay.
But like that was always like a story that you always hear about. Anyway,
yeah. I saw Pantera way back.
Oh yeah.
The full lineup.
Oh wow, back in the day.
2000. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Dimebag was something else.
That's
rest in peace. Did you find any similarities between the metal and hip hop world?
Sometimes it's like the metal world, like metal had a mainstream heyday a long time ago.
Yeah.
So people still like know Metallica and shit, but it's not mainstream at all. Like don't get no radio play, don't really get fucking, MTV, I don't think MTV plays shit, but you know what I'm saying. It's not on the Grammys, ain't
the new bands aren't. No.
So to see these people with these fans, I really appreciated the way the fans are like fucking down for this, and this is like their world and shit. It's like very underground. It's like it's like almost like the raw hip hop shit was.
Yeah.
And like just loyal as fuck, so excited to be there, could give a flying fuck about what's cool and what's hip.
Yeah. That's fire.
So I respected that.
Nice. So. Fast forwarding quite a bit.
Please.
I didn't see. It's like, please. Come
on, I didn't mean it like that.
Let's get
jump
to the
around
new
is all I'm saying. We can bounce around.
So So like I said, we didn't really like ever like kick it until then I came to LA.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting you up randomly. We had talked online. I was a big fan of White People Wednesday. You had some things going on. You're a meme guy, you know, like, and I hit you up and it was like all love right away. And I went to your old apartment and we did Damaged Goods.
Yeah, the old one, my smaller, little shady one, right?
Yeah.
That was a shit apartment. Oh my God, I'm glad you came. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you made it out of there in one piece.
Yeah, I remember you like warned you like it'll be cool. Don't worry.
It was a wild place to live.
Just you'll be all right. So we did Damaged Goods, which I think we should talk about a little bit. That's your podcast.
Yeah.
Can you just break down for the people at home real quick what the deal is with that?
The Damaged Goods podcast it's usually me and another person from the arts. Could be a musician, actor, dancer, a writer, a chef, somebody I consider that works in the arts. Even if you're the manager of a bunch of artists, you work in the facet of a creative realm. It's me and that person having conversations. It's not really an interview. I have questions and things I want to ask them in my head, but I never tell them that.
Yeah.
And I don't it's not like I'm not going to give them, I don't want it to sound rehearsed, and I'd rather have what that person does kind of like it be revealed what their, if it was a musician like yourself, what their musical life is like. It's revealed just through the conversation rather than being like, so when did you first get into hip hop? Who gave you your first guitar? Like, I hated that when I would be on FM radio or and shit. So I was like, I don't want to do that. I want it to be like conversations and that way a chance to tell stories, which is what I do. And so other people to tell stories, and then hilarious shit comes out of that and you learn about it. But also like sometimes things that are a little rough around the edges, the damaged part,
Yeah, I realized the first one I maybe didn't dig deep enough, You
gotta come back and get sad?
Yeah.
The tearjerker? Let's go tearjerker.
Maybe we can, the second one I think we talked more Van stuff, and that one was, I thought I did better on that one. The first one I wasn't.
Fantastic on both.
I'm still, thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm still opening up. And that brings me to Quicksand.
Bring it.
You gave me your book after the last one. Yeah. So I rocked with you before.
Yeah.
I really rock with you now.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, no,
thank you.
For real. This book was, so I read it pretty quick, couple days. It's not super
that's
long
that's the way I made it like that.
I read it with breakfast. It was like my breakfast book.
Nice.
Like a cup of
coffee.
coffee.
Day,
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a hell of a way to start.
It's like a shot of fucking green juice, basically.
Yeah. So, and it's been something. Like the transparency, man, was insane to me. Every page I was like, is he talking about this? Is he really talking
dude, don't remind me, dude.
This?
I have a new book coming out next week and I get nervous about how transparent I am sometimes.
So, but just so people know, it's got, you basically laid out all your flaws, insecurities, mistakes, pain, savagery at times.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it was just constantly like, holy shit. But it's also a love story.
Yeah. It's like a redemption story of love. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's what
astute reader, man.
Yeah, I try to be.
Some people miss that. They just get the fucking jokes,
Yeah, no,
which is fine.
But it's like, can I show you who I really am, and will you love me? And I was like, this guy.
Thank you.
Dude, because transparency has been a thing I'm working on, but like you dove straight into it. And one of my questions, which you kind of just sort of hinted at, like, how were your nerves as you wrote
writing?
this?
Dude, it was the opposite of nerves. Just like, I started writing some of that shit before I moved to LA. I was just going through a rough fucking time, dude. Like, rough is an understatement. And I write music at the time, but like I was just like finding myself like writing down like little poems or like little parts of stories and things like that. It was just like fucking therapy, dude. It was just to save my life. I was going mad, dude, and I wasn't writing it in any hopes of like I'm gonna make this something. Then I started seeing I had a lot of shit, and there was like some common themes. And when I got the idea of the underlying theme of like a reconnection and a love story, then I was like, all right, man, like I can write a book, dude.
Yeah.
Let's just write a book and tie it all in with these stories. And I started doing that, and it was fucking healthiest thing for me. That wasn't it. And I didn't get too nervous before it came out, but then I put it out, I was like, well, I just committed to saying all this stuff, and there's things in there that involve other people. Everybody else's names have changed.
Yeah.
But if they read it, they know. And then, the response by the fans, readers is great. There's a couple people who've read it who aren't happy with certain.
Oh, really?
But it's like, I knew that, but I didn't, for every 3 or 4 of them, there's thousands not. So it's like, and I didn't I mean, it's all real. I'm just telling you a story, and it's not even my opinion on the stories. It's just this is how it happened. I'm not telling you the sky was blue and I really didn't like it. I'm just telling you the sky was blue.
Yeah, there's almost no opinions. That's true.
Yeah. And I just wanted to. So I mean, I'm not. And like I said, it's not like I put anyone's business out there real hard. I mean, I put mine out there the most. You know.
Yeah. Someone said, and I struggle with that sometimes. Someone said, yeah, if you don't like the way you're written about in my story, like maybe you should have behaved differently. It doesn't give you doesn't infringe your right to tell your story.
Exactly.
Because someone else might not.
Yeah, and I changed your fucking name, dude. I changed your name. Do you not like the name you got?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, some shit, the family stuff, it's hard to hide, you know?
People know. Like, I mean, do people know, dude? You know?
Is your fam was cool with it? It seems like you must have a super open, like.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
My family's like the way I act around you is exactly how I act around them. I don't have. That's why I don't like meeting other people's family, because I don't have to change my shit.
That's a gift.
I don't swear in front of my grandmother out of respect.
Okay.
And I mean, I do, and I like, oh God, and she, you know. But like, she's cool with it all. But yeah, they're pretty cool. I didn't want some of my cousins like, don't let your mom read this. I don't want too many people. My mother read it before I told her not to read it until a certain time, and she read it, and she never told, and she didn't flip out. It was all good.
That's cool. Because your mom does some things in it.
People just do what they did. Like, so, and I'm not like, I mean, I love her, you know. So I'm not. I didn't want it to be like, this is not an Eminem song, like I'm bashing.
You weren't shitting on it.
Yeah, and I didn't want anyone to think that. And that's actually, I was worried about some of those things when I wrote them. Like, are people going to think I'm trying to make this a woe is me story? This is so weird and hard. This is the way I am. I was like, no, this is the way it was.
Yeah.
I just did an interview with a magazine for my new book, and they were asking me about my childhood, and it's like, I'm not trying to like give away this new book or my first book, read the fucking books, but I'd say I had a good childhood. I said it's unique in the interview, and if like to understand what I mean by that, read the shit, because I'm not complaining, but it was, you know, it's what you say in the book. It's wild. It's not average.
No.
So yeah.
I mean, your childhood was very different than mine, that's for sure, and but I think it's healthy to be able to talk about that kind of stuff. And I think it's cool how, you're not complaining, but you are kind of, it's interesting how you trace it back to like, it's almost like a therapy session with yourself where you're like, maybe this is why I did what I did. You're still taking accountability, but you're like, you got to understand how I grew up. Like, this isn't that far away from what I was shown.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be different now, but you got to know who I was.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like something when I was writing music, I was open about some stuff, but never to this degree. And I don't know if there was room for it at the time in hip hop.
No.
Now it's okay, you know, dudes like Logic write a suicide song and all this shit, and you can do whatever you want. Not back then, really, especially not maybe for like a dude like me. And so I would write about some of this shit, but I barely would scratch the surface. And so with the book, you know, I was like, fuck, dude, I got nothing to lose. Where I was in life compared to where I am now was a lot different. I had nothing to lose, dude. I mean, which is actually a very liberating place to be.
Yeah.
Got nowhere to go but up. I mean, I was hurting. I was on like EBT food stamps. I was like tripping. Like I was just starting the tour job, which would make you a fat chunk of money. Then I'm back in LA fucking unemployed because no one's gonna hire you and you get to leave for every 6 weeks. Some fucking like, I was just struggling, dude.
Yeah.
And you know, I was fucking just getting fucked up all the time, hanging out with different ladies, and and so I was like, whatever, dude, I'm just gonna open it all up in the book. And even the new book is like very candid, and I'm a little more nervous about this one than the first one.
Really?
Just cause like more like I want people to. The last book I just wrote in 1.5 years, where that Quicksand took me like 5 years.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, my writing's much better, but I just want people to take it well, you know?
Yeah.
I think I've got more expectations or hope for it.
So that was kind of one thing I was curious. Is it a sequel? Is it a different set of stories?
So like the love story element to Quicksand, you know, me and this girl trying to reconnect amidst all these crazy stories of funny, wild shit. It's like a dark comedy. It's the same theme with this one. Short stories with poems, non-linear, you know, debauchery, savagery, all that shit, you know, shame, excess. But instead of trying to reconnect with a lost love, it's me trying to reconnect with my father before he died.
Okay.
And so it's the same story, but it's like something that's just as relatable as, you know, a love story for people is, you know, everybody's going to lose their parent at some time.
Yeah.
And so it is me and him had a very complicated relationship, and it's trying to do all all that, and it's still touching and sad, and it's funny, and it's all these childhood stories and modern stories, and it's all over the map. It's fucking hilarious. Me and this man are fucking fighting and joking and threatening to kill each other, and there's sentimental moments. And I mean, if you think I'm crazy, my father was crazy, and I might even write a book all about him in the future. A lot of things I couldn't say about him until he passed away, and even in the book, the new book, I don't really get into too many, but he's far crazier than I ever was.
Okay. You couldn't say it while he's alive? What do you mean by that?
It'd be incriminating.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, heavily incriminating.
Okay.
Like he died on parole or probation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Statute of limitations were not nearly
Yeah. My father was like an interesting character. Good man, you know.
And you guys did manage to patch it up?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it was like unpatched. It was just like, it was a shaky, knotted relationship.
Yeah.
And I like basically left a like radio show. I left a lot of shit. I like went to take care of him when he was sick.
Oh, wow.
When he had like less than a year to live.
Wow.
And I dropped everything. It was a big thing for me to spend. I never spent that much time with this man my whole, like, you know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And now I'm like fucking picking him off the floor, taking him to chemo, cleaning up vomit, like.
Wow.
And he's a big dude like me. It's a very interesting change. It's humbling.
Excuse me.
Bless you. It was a humbling experience.
Wow.
But that's the same theme as the first book, Quicksand. Waiting Room has that.
Okay.
And it plays out the same. And just like I had a childhood picture as the cover, this is also a childhood picture. I did the illustrations.
I got it.
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah.
I'm spending a lot of time in those things. You know.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's power. I like this way of doing it, and it's different than I expected. I wasn't sure if you just like had it one day you were like, fuck it, I'm doing this, and you did it, and then you put it out, and but I like how it's just all you're just kind of writing them, and then you figure out what the theme around them could be.
Well, like the first one, they were just I was writing shit that just had the same theme because of what I was going through, and I saw these connections to it. I was like, how can I also spice it up? And I don't want it to be all a sob story or all joke. I mean, I like to mix the vitamin and the ice cream. Yeah,
but it was cool because I haven't, and this is maybe how I felt first time I was on Damaged Goods. I was like, I'm not as hardcore as this dude. Like I haven't done some like, I have not done any like, I'm mostly stay out of trouble. I've done some. Most of my shit is dumb. I've done a lot of. I had like some blackout phase, and I don't know, things were going on, but it was stupid. But even some of that, like, it was empowering. Like, one of your stories about. I'm trying because I do want people to read the book, but
you talk about it. So.
Yeah, one of the woman who was breaking stuff.
So, this girl I was dating who's
that
she was
phone call, man.
She's very crazy.
Now I have to say this without pissing anybody off. I dated someone who would often like need to call me and need me to pick up and be there for them, at a drop. And I've been in that situation where I'm like, I'm at work, like I really can't, like, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it don't register.
It doesn't work, and it's like this is an emergency, but that's like every other day.
And it's like, not. And I wasn't even dating this girl really. I mean, we're dating is a loose term.
That one, I was like, oh my god! But yours went a step further even than mine had, and. Just reading that, it was like, okay, he bounced back from that. It's okay.
It took a long time. Dude,
because those ones fuck you up, man.
Bro, I didn't have anxiety until that, and I was coming back to my crib just like heart was racing. I would smoke a gang of weed and like lay on the couch and just be like, what the fuck, dude? I can't breathe. My heart's pounding. And then like I finally saw a therapist who sent me a psychologist. I got on like SSRIs and off that shit. Like basically that gave me my anxiety disorder, dude. Yeah, or induced it in me. Maybe it was brewing the whole time. Yeah.
So you were different. You were a different person before that.
Yeah, I was probably a little more go with the flow. But like, dude, like, that shit fucked me up for life. I mean, not gonna say for life, but I mean, I went to therapy for forever. Like, not just because of that. I mean, there was obviously other shit I found out I had to deal with. That's what kicked it off.
Yeah, and I don't want people to think the book isn't like what does the back say? That you write with the humor of a.
It's like an Irish wake. Yeah, it's funny. Laugh.
You can tell, and I get in trouble sometimes. I have a buddy who passed away last year, and I was the first one to make a joke in the group chat. But at a certain point, I'm like, we got to laugh about how this dude would have taken these. Are we never going to talk about it, or like, can we joke about some shit now? Like,
I know. I mean, that's been like humor's been a survival tactic for me, my family, my mother's family, like, is very big in their shit too. I just seen that my whole life, like people laughing at funerals or at weird times, and that's been a way to deal with it. I know for some people that they can't fathom that, but it works for me.
Yeah, hey, laughter's the best medicine.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, beat COVID 4 times, just laughed it off.
Yeah. What Norm Macdonald, rest in peace, what he said, laughter's the best medicine. Well, unless you get diabetes, and then in that case, it's insulin.
God, thank God for my 2 feet. Holy shit.
So, have you told, this is what I'm curious, how many stories have you told before? Were these ones that you were like, had practice telling around, like you...
In the books?
Yeah, are these fresh?
Very few of them had been told. I mean, I knew them in my head. I didn't tell them to a ton of people. And then even this book, dude, there's stories, there's like one really crazy one in my new book. I don't know if I've told anybody, dude.
Oh, wow.
You know? And so
they are true.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Maybe a little poetic?
No,
really?
I like Charles Bukowski. He's like one of my favorite writers, and he'll do that with a lot of his books. And, you know, he gives you a little more room,
yeah.
you know? But I just did. I mean, there might have been a couple times where I've combined 2 characters. Not a prominent person, but it's just for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't change anything or add any, like, occurrences. All that shit happened like how it happened,
wow.
dude. Like the setting. If I said it was windy, it was fucking windy, dude, you know? Yeah. I was wearing a blue sweatshirt. I had a blue sweatshirt on.
Yeah. That's wild,
if I could
dude.
recall the color of the sweatshirt.
Yeah. So, and you said, and I don't know if this breaks things, you know, we can cut this out if you don't want this in public, but you got her back, right? It worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. I got one of these things.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
oh, wow, man.
Yeah.
What
She's at home right now making my dinner, my pipe and my slippers.
What was that like? So did you just like hand her the book and you were like, this will help?
No.
Or were you already back together?
We got back together before the book was published.
Okay.
And I was like, you know, I've been writing this thing, like before it even came out. And she's like, I was like, told her it was about, and you know, and she's read it and shit. She's like, I guess you could, like, some of her friends were like, that must be flattering to her. So yeah, it's like she could look at it like that. I mean, you know, a lot of people know about your husband now. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you know, very personal.
Yeah,
things
but
about
she's
this
been,
man.
you know, she lives with me, dude. She knows, like, I'm the way I am, like right now, dude. I'm always like whatever. I don't turn it on or off.
Yeah.
So she deals with this like all the time. She's good at dealing with it.
Yeah.
So it's, you know,
it's probably pretty nice because, like, I mean, what could possibly, I mean, everything is out there, and she rocks with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and
as
all
long
the
as
bad
you're still
shit is
yourself,
over with.
it's like
all the shitty shit I used to do, like cheating especially, and all that kind of shit is like in my past. She gets the best version of me.
Yeah.
Why don't you get the best version of me I worked so hard to become instead of one of these other girls? You know?
Yeah.
So
nice, man.
Yeah. Took a long time. Wasn't easy though.
Yeah, it's funny, like, especially like we're in a time where like the past seems to be super present.
God.
And it's like, I mean, you're a solid dude from all I can tell, but like,
I would say so.
There's shit in this book that like you could
if you had a
like,
daughter, you wouldn't want me to date her.
You'd be like, there was a period of your life where maybe people would have been like, I don't know, if you like you said, my daughter probably, I'd be like, this is the guy? Like, you know, all right. Like, and now I'd be proud, you know, I'd be like, yes, of course, this is the guy.
Yeah.
But it's cool because people do like, it's good to have that room and that ability.
You have to, like, I mean, dude, people say people don't change. I'd say most of the time they don't. They can change, and it takes a lot to do it, and you really have to want to change. I mean, I've had friends who've been fucking addicts or family members, and they're cleaning it all up in their back. I got some friends and family members still fucking a mess. You know, they didn't want to change as bad. I mean, you can become a different person. Like, characteristics and habits are very hard to break, but if you really want, like, I mean, dude, if someone could stop shooting fucking dope in their arm, that's a big thing to change.
Yeah.
So you could stop being an asshole. You could stop, you know, not listening to somebody when they're talking. Like, you could do those things if they could stop that, you know? And I mean, it took like, you know, it took me like almost fucking killing myself, literally. Or like drinking ayahuasca a million times, not a million, like a few times.
Are you reading my notes?
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at your handwriting. It's nice. It's like actually legible.
Oh, I was thinking it wouldn't be. I was like,
dude, my shit looks like hieroglyphs.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, so, I mean, you really have to want to, and I wanted to, in my mind, maybe get back this girl, but also, like, I just had this fucking hit of conscience, like, yo, you got to change a lot of things. There's even things in my life, like, it's like, I got to stop doing these things. I feel bad about them now. I never felt bad about them before. It was so strong in me that I changed them. It wasn't actually that hard because I wanted to change it so bad. It was like a spiritual intervention of sorts.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to want it. Some people have to hit bottom.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different
I
bottom.
think that's what mine was in that, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't like an addicted situation, but it was like the things I was doing and the lifestyle I was living were not, they caught up to me in my conscious finally.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. And it is weird, like the nostalgia of some of the stuff. It's hard to break it. Even there's certain music I don't want to listen to anymore. I'm like,
Dude,
I feel like that puts me in a bad place. Like I don't even want to, but like it does feel good to listen to it. And then I'm like,
I feel you.
But it's a different frequency that I'm trying to not be on.
It's like you have to take it in a different manner than you used to before.
And it's weird to even approach shit like that, but it's all part of that bigger change. You know?
Just sometimes I think back on like, oh, how I was living when I was writing that book versus how I was living when I was writing this new one. And I'm like, I kind of miss those things. I kind of miss being like in a really fucked up spot, you know, like not knowing what's going on. Like I kind of liked it because now I got responsibilities and deadlines and things. And like, granted, things are stable and good. So you take that with it.
Is that the new internal battle? Like to not just
I still go off the rails and stuff and go crazy. Yeah. But like the crazy shit, like I just end up getting into crazy enough, weird crazy shit. Not just like crazy. It's not like always crazy, but it's like uniquely interesting.
The benders are like maybe a week or two.
Yeah.
Not,
like, and sometimes it's not even benders. Sometimes it's like, oh shit, I'm bribing these cops who are like gonna, you know, shake me down, or like, you know, in Mexico and like things like that. So I still find myself getting into these situations.
Like how you specified Mexico, LAPD. Like
I haven't bribed any cops in Los Angeles yet. Thank God.
No need to look into this. These are Mexican authorities.
Yeah. They're a lot easier to bribe. It takes less money to bribe a Mexican cop.
Yeah, but that's part of, to my understanding, it's just a part of like, actually most of the world besides the U.S., bribery is just sort of a part of doing business. Yeah, and here it happens in a different, like it still happens here, but in a different way.
Yeah, it's a lot more sleek.
But they're just like, this is every level of humanity can engage. It's not just the lobbyists.
It's basically like a different form of lobbyists and shit like that. I mean, those guys are like the ultimate bribe makers.
Yeah.
So this is like the same kind of thing. You know, you got to grease some palms and shit like that.
I knew this Mexican guy, and he was funny. He was like, he would just crash his car wasted and just like leave it on the side of the road, and then like when they'd, you know, come back, is this your car? He'd like, hey, here you go, and like get rid of it.
It works,
and, like,
dude.
He's like,
it works. I mean,
I used to just like multiple times. It was just like,
I mean, that's like the car. So you still got to pay for the car. Dude.
I know, but he was like, I don't know what he was doing, but he was like, yeah, it's no big deal. You know, you have some pesos, it's cool. Like, you can work it out, especially small town shit. Small town shit is not getting worked out like that in America.
No.
Like, all right, buddy.
They'll exact some small town justice on you, dude. You get arrested in the wrong small town.
Yep. So you said earlier, you said you had a few negative responses, but you said thousands of positives. Are you really? Did the book do well? How did it do?
Pretty good, dude.
You hit a bubble outside of who you knew?
Well, it was slowly. Yeah, I mean, you know, people were like residue of music fans.
Okay.
The radio show on Dash Radio and the podcast, and then like, dude, just like all this funny jokey shit I do on social media, people like that, and then they find out I do other things, like, you know, that's how I get books sold or podcasts listened to or whatever. And so then people were like sharing my page with their friends, and then just like getting more people like that, you know.
Yeah.
And that just helps.
Nice, man.
Hopefully this new book does better.
Yeah, and it's called The Waiting Room.
Yeah.
It's too bad we're not like a real talk show. You could like hold it up.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not out. I don't have the physical version yet. It comes out in a week, so
Oh, so you don't even get it till it's out.
I don't kind of get it until it's out either. I mean, I've seen the proofs of it. I know exactly what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
I okayed all that shit, so yeah. But I don't have it in my hands yet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to grab a copy.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You'll enjoy it, dude. If you like the first one, it's the same vein.
Yeah, especially like, knowing that it's about you patching up with your pops, who's like, if you're saying he's a character, that's a whole other thing. But that's like, the family's so important. Yeah. And I think, a lot of us probably don't. We kind of let shit just be how it is instead of maybe patching it up all the way.
Yeah. It's, everyone has like different values of what family is and stuff like that. It just felt like the right thing to do. Like my aunt, one of my aunts told me, she's like, you're just not going to regret it. This is going to be hell. It's going to suck. You're going to maybe lose out on some opportunities. But when this is over, you won't be like, fuck, I wish I did that. So I was like, yeah. And she's right. Like, you know, like, dude, I mean, I was going crazy during this period. It took a lot. I mean, I'm not a nurse or nothing like that, you know? But I have zero regrets about that. It feels good to know I did all
Yeah.
I could do. So I felt
Good,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Happy to hear it.
Thank you.
And also the ayahuasca.
Oh yeah, that's what saved me and that changed me. It changed my character in some ways.
Was that what triggered this spiritual move?
Yeah, 100%.
And you were already, you're a drug user, I think we could say that. You were already like exploring different mind states before.
Oh yeah, man, I was already into like psychedelics and shit. And my friend who put me onto this, he's like, he's what you would be considered a shaman in that shit. He's been into that for a decade plus before I did it.
Okay.
And he's like, this is nothing like acid. This is nothing like mushrooms. This is nothing like anything I've taken. Peyote, mescaline, gel tabs. He's like, I mean, those are if you've never done psychedelics. Yes, it's like that, but it's nothing like any of those. It's not recreational. It's a bad trip and a good trip at the same time. So when you just eat shrooms or acid or whatever, like people don't want to have a bad trip, man. Like they try to do it, and I do too. With this shit, it's like, yo, you're gonna have a bad trip and a good trip, and the more you fight it, the more that bad trip's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, okay.
That was a hard lesson I learned. And the first time I did it 2 days back to back with him.
Wow.
And that was like so gnarly. It was like,
And you got the bucket and you're throwing up and shit.
Yeah. Well,
is it like pretty much an
No. It's not like you can't control it.
Okay.
It's not like you're shitting your pants or puking out of your ear. Like you're like, I gotta go throw up. I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
And then, dude, after you've done like I've done quite a number, you're not gonna throw up or shit every time.
Okay.
Sometimes you're like, I want to.
Right.
But you don't. But you will. The first time I did it, my man, he's leading it. We drank the first round, and it definitely, dude, it's the toughest thing to take down. It's like, it took me like probably 10, 15 ceremonies before I could just shoot it without just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So my boy takes and he's leading the ceremony. He's a master. He takes his shot, and we're chilling. And we're starting with some opening prayers, and he goes to the kitchen, and we're like 5 minutes in, he's just throwing up in the sinks, all right? He's just puking his sink. I was like, oh shit, is this what it's about to be? I just started this. It was fucking gnarly. He comes back, he's like, oh, all right, let's go. I was like, oh, fuck. And he was like playing guitar, singing the whole nine at the same time. I was like, dude, I can't do anything when I'm on, like, that's going through my system.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I can play bongo drums, maybe.
But they say the chanting is like kind of what brings you.
Yeah, I mean, there's mad hymns and songs and dancing rituals sometimes you go to, and so there's a lot of music is very part of it. Sometimes you're singing and dancing, sometimes you're sitting in prayer, but sometimes you're going to be on that floor.
Yeah. And you said 10 or 15 times.
Like 27 times I've done it.
That's a lot, man. I was under the impression most people need to do it like once or
you
twice.
It depends what you do it for.
Okay.
Some people I've had people who do it for like an addiction issue.
Okay.
And sometimes that's like one or twice.
Okay.
And, I was doing it. It's like, I mean, I could have done it. It's just, I don't know. It feels good. It's healthy.
Did you experience an ego death?
Yeah, 100%, dude. Crushed it in a million pieces. It's like beautiful, dude. That's why, like, I write the way I write now, and like, I carry myself a little different. Like, I don't take myself as serious. I don't take many things as serious. I'm a lot more humble than I used to be, and it was beautiful for that, dude. God, I needed that.
That makes sense. It must be easier to write about it because you're like, I'm not even this guy.
Yeah,
Jake is just this guy who stuff happened to.
And it's just like, why should I make this important? So important about me? Just let it go. Just put it out there. You know?
Yeah, and then it's already out. You can move forward.
Yeah, exactly.
That's been my thing. Why I'm on this transparency wave is I'm like, if I'm myself and I'm honest and I'm true and I'm emotionally or whatever and like expressing it, and someone takes it in a way that that's the best situation. Like they can respond how they want to, but as long as I didn't tailor my thing to make it work for them,
no, you just put it out
just
there.
Do that, and then if they accept it, awesome. We've leveled up to a whole different place, and if they don't, that's fine too. I don't have any regrets.
That's the way to do it, man. Is it's like let people take what they want from it. Sometimes when we write or create or whatever we do, we do it for ourselves first.
Yeah,
right? You're doing it for yourself, and then if you have an intention with it or like a way that you may wanted this song to be received or whatever, if somebody takes it like that, that's great. They might interpret it a whole nother way. And you're like, oh, cool. Or like, whatever. But it's no sweat off you. You feel like you did it first for the right reasons.
Right. Perfect. Dude, ayahuasca kind of scares me, but I kind of want to try. It's on the fence. It's interesting what you said though. Like Terrence McKenna, his whole thing. He's a big mushroom guy, as you may know. Okay, you're hip. His whole thing is like he wants you to take. He says like 5 grams because he's like,
5 grams of mushrooms.
Yeah, he's like, because then you can't fight it. He's like, where people fuck up is they
Trying to
fight
fight
it and they try to make it something it's not. But he's like, you need to take enough that you can't fight it, and you're gonna go, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah, take you on a trip, a real hard one. I think everyone needs at least one of those, dude. And if ayahuasca, there ain't no fighting it. There's times when I've wanted to go, I'm like, maybe I don't want to go. I don't like, I'm nervous, and then maybe that's a reason to go. It's like I'm resisting.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like you don't just go to go. It's not like, Saturday, let's go. Like then it's like you're abusing the medicine in a way, you know. So like when it calls you, like, fuck, man, I feel like I could peel back some layers of apprehension. I should go. Or if you're feeling like you're trying to avoid going, maybe you should go, but you don't just go for the fuck of it.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing too. Shrooms are popping right now. Everyone's like doing shrooms.
Dude, I found a bag of shrooms in my fucking jacket pocket coming back from the pub the other night with my boy. I was like, oh shit. I must not want a jacket for a while.
Everyone's doing them, and it's interesting because there are the two approaches. Like, there's the, I'm gonna go into this and I'm gonna like learn something from this and it's gonna be a spiritual experience, and then there's the like, I'm gonna party on them thing.
Yeah.
And it's such an interesting thing because like, I think, and it's gonna be whatever it is for you, but they're not necessarily something to fuck around with.
Yeah,
like
if you're taking too many, you're gonna,
like,
definitely.
it's not, we all popped a couple caps and gone to a party before.
Yeah,
that's
that's
nice.
mellow. That's cool.
But like,
you can't eat like an eighth and do that.
you're not supposed to eat a chocolate bar. If you eat a chocolate bar and you don't come out of it with some growth or awareness on it, like that's, I don't know. Like I feel like there's got to be an intention behind using them. I don't want to be like this. I almost feel bad even saying that because I'm not like the mushroom, like this is how to do it or this is not. But it's interesting. So many people are playing with them right now.
Yeah.
And they're like cool. People treat it like smoking weed.
Yeah. Well, then that's usually when they're just doing, like you said, like a cap and a stem or something to keep it light. And that's fine. Like, fuck it, dude. You want to take a cap and a stem and like go stare off into the ocean. That's mellow. Or you can eat an eighth and stare off in the ocean. Or if like we're gonna go see some band and you just wanted to eat a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's maybe not such an introspective moment, but it's
there's
just
a lot to be gained from them that I hope people are getting. You know, because you can go into it with a different mindset and get a ton out of it.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I love doing like going in nature, maybe alone or with somebody, and just kind of getting away from all the fucking sensory shit, all the lights and sounds, and just eating some shrooms.
Yeah, I've never done the next one. Back to McKenna real quick. He does he talks about the way to do it is you eat the eighth or the 5 grams or whatever, and then he does silent room, total darkness.
Oh, that's wild.
And he's like
they do those moments in ayahuasca ceremonies sometimes.
Like, that's
too.
how you do it. He's like, because it's ridiculous. Like, you think, oh, we got to add music. Or he's like, you don't think you don't have the capability to do some ill stuff with your mind. Like, you need to hear music and have it sound better. He's like, no, go sit alone in darkness and just watch what happens.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
and it sounds hardcore. Like, you know, but.
In ayahuasca ceremonies, we've done that, but it would be like other people in the room, but it's all quiet, dark. You're kind of in a meditative concentration state. Not the whole time either, just for a certain amount of time. And that's when it starts to kind of hit you, the medicine.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, then they start doing the music and shit, you know? You've already had this reflecting period.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I mean, he also talks about you should go into it with a song or something in your head that you can ground yourself and pull yourself
that's a good,
back
that's a good
when
thought.
It starts to get crazy.
Interesting.
You know, have your, I forget the name for it, but like have it on deck, you know, ready to go.
That's a smart idea.
And singing, he talks about singing your way through it when it gets crazy.
Yeah, actually, there's a chapter in my new book about singing while tripping in Skid Row in the middle of the night.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it's like it's about that, just speaking on what you were speaking on.
Perfect. It's like the concept of you know, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It's like just having that.
It's kind of what I did. It's like it's 12:30 in the morning, Skid Row, like fucking I'm tripping solo. Just do it. Just keep walking.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. LA, man.
Sung through it.
Downtown LA.
Beautiful.
Every time I see a different part of it, I'm like, holy shit. The last show I went to, this venue was like in a part of town. It was like it was like the city had left it behind.
The movie Strange Days.
And it wasn't even like a tent city. There were like only 2 or 3 tents, but there were just piles of garbage like 4 feet high, 10 feet
Tons of
wide,
that in LA.
every like almost like 2 parking spaces, and it was like the
There's tons
city
of that,
just
dude.
forgot about, and there were garbage trucks actually like on the corner, and it was like they're not doing anything with this part of town. They just
Dude,
left
a lot of
it.
part of towns there's trash piling up.
And then there's other places where you're like, oh, this is a literal tent city. Like this is a whole city. This is a whole.
We could probably hit
thing.
5 of them with a rock right now, dude. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.
It's sad. It's sad.
You know, I travel like all around, and even in this country, there's homelessness in other places, man. But and Frisco might give LA a run for its money. But the way it's developed in LA in the last 2 years, it's fucking like when people come here who haven't been here in a while and visit me and shit, they're like blown the fuck away. It's not just downtown in Skid Row. It's fucking everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you'll be driving down any street and you're like, that
Nice
camper hasn't
neighborhood.
moved in 6 months.
Yeah, oh, those 18 campers haven't moved in fucking 6 months.
That guy's got a front porch.
Unless
he
it's
just
like
built.
in the hills where nobody wants to walk up a hill.
Right.
I don't want to, you don't want to, they don't want
And
to.
you don't want to sleep on a hill
Yeah,
either.
exactly. So that's the only place. Like friends who live in like the hills, like it's, you know, they're the ones who are all down to feed the homeless. Like, let's let them go sleep on your front lawn and shit outside your bedroom window.
Yeah.
You know, not that everybody does that, but it's happened to me before. You're like, you don't seem to have a problem because you don't see it.
Yeah.
Unless you come down to the lowlands with the rest of us folk.
Yeah.
But yeah, the city doesn't. I haven't heard any politician on any end of the spectrum have a offer like a solution. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a massive housing crisis at it. There's so many things at the root.
It's
Mental
perfect
health,
storm of
housing.
problems,
There's too many things, and like
I wouldn't know what to do. I don't got the answer.
I know
for
the
sure.
solution isn't rolling through with a fucking backhoe and just like clearing it out.
And it's not. And whatever they're doing now is certainly not working. I don't know if they're doing anything. So I don't know. I'm not a city planner or a politician. Thank God. I don't even want to pretend like I know what to do.
Yeah, it's a bigger. We're not going to solve it.
Yeah.
It's like if everyone did
Honestly,
ayahuasca
dude,
or mushrooms,
I don't
maybe
know.
we'd
I
have
don't
a
think
chance.
you can solve it. It might be like, I mean, maybe. And like, unless you did that, like what, I don't know what they could do, so.
Yeah, it's too much. But you mentioned the Bay though. This is my stat I throw out. My buddy worked up there in some policy stuff. And Oakland, something like 2/3 of the homeless population in Oakland graduated from Oakland high schools.
Oh shit.
So it's not like people are it's like cities are just failing. Like if you're
People
born in
losing
a
out on
city
housing.
and you can't afford to live, like it's just cities are broken, to be honest.
And
in a lot of
California
ways.
is such a fucking broke state, yet there's so much money at the same time. It just never, all these, I mean, dude, it's goddamn awfully expensive to live here. There's a lot of tax revenue. It don't trickle down. It passes through too many hands. So by the time it comes to housing, schools, fixing a pothole, there ain't no money left.
Yeah.
But somebody's got it because there's some fly-ass resorts or like wineries that people live on in their fucking third house. And I mean, you paid more taxes than any place in the country to live here. It's just not coming down to help anybody.
Yeah, it's
Sucks.
It does suck, man. And I was gonna say too, but yeah, it's like I underestimated it too, to be honest. Like, but it was like one of my first nights here. I went down, or not even my first night, a night here, but one of my first nights going out, and I went to see this DJ, and I got an Uber back, and we're driving, and there's just like flaming trash in the middle of the
time,
street,
bro.
and I was just like,
dude, I see it around my
LA, huh?
neighborhood all the time.
LA, huh?
Come for the palm
and
trees,
the
stay
guy's
for the
like,
flaming trash.
yeah, and the guy's like, yeah, LA. And I was like, oh no, so this isn't abnormal? And he's like, no.
That's Ted Danson's house. What are you talking about?
He's like, this isn't abnormal at all. I was like, oh, this place is different, man.
Yeah, it's,
but I don't even know how we got on that, but it's we're not going to solve it.
Not you and I.
I'm glad you're solving your internal problems.
Yeah,
that's where it all starts.
Start here, dude.
It all
Start in here
starts
and then
within.
slowly work out here.
And yeah.
Save yourself. People don't want to save themselves. They want to save all this shit. Maybe if we all saved ourselves, this shit would be a lot better.
That's true. That's honestly true. How much a lot of people, or a lot of the, you mentioned, what is it? Your habits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I realized at one point, I was just almost like a giant defense mechanism.
Yeah.
And like so much of my stuff was autopilot responses to
dude, I was younger,
totally out of
sure.
control. And that type of work needs to get done, because how much of this are people filling holes that they don't know they have?
Yeah, dude, it's a lot easier for me to tell you, oh man, this is what you should do, than to like do my own shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny, this keeps coming up in interviews. Yeah, maybe it's just the theme I'm on. But I was editing an interview this morning that drops Thursday, and in that I'm like, you gotta put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
Yeah, dude, they teach you that in the goddamn airplanes.
Yeah.
The truth is only left in the skies, man.
Yeah.
That and some fucking pretzels, if you're lucky to get pretzels.
Yeah,
They're like, you want fucking pretzels here?
They've gone downhill.
Talk about treating you nice, dude.
Yeah.
Even in first class, they're kind of dickheads. No, they're not. Actually, that's not. I wrote some shit about that, and I won't go into it now, but you want to see the fucking, society in a microcosm. It is just on an airplane, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't even use the bathroom in this section. Close the curtain. You can see through the curtain, but you can't even go through the curtain. I mean, you can, but then they're going to put you on a no-fly list, and you're fucked, and now you're all over YouTube for fighting with some bitch on the plane.
Yeah. Did you, is there anything, because you're a podcaster, is there anything
I've never been called that. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do I love that? I think I love that. It's cool.
Yeah. Do you have anything on your mind that you've just been wanting to get out there or dump, or is there anything we haven't talked about that you're like, I needed to get this out in the world?
Shit, man. No, I don't know. No, I feel like you actually had some great fucking questions.
Thank you.
So that was like very well done. I don't have anything like pressing. If I did, I probably would have led with it.
Okay.
Sometimes I can't contain myself.
Okay.
I think also having a new book coming out, it's like a big weight off my shoulders, and there's a lot in there, a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
So I feel like pretty good right now.
What do you do on that day? Do you pretend it's not happening, or do you have like a watch party?
I did that on the first time when Quicksand came out. I ran away to Mexico. It's like, fuck, and someone's gonna read this and be so mad.
Yeah.
So I did it, but no, I don't know. I mean, I might do some readings and shit, and then I'm gonna do interviews and like press for it. But like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna celebrate for like just that. I mean, I will celebrate when it's out. Maybe if some accolade comes from it.
Yeah. Pop a bottle, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I might do that on a Wednesday though. So it's like I don't always celebrate at the right times. I celebrate whenever I feel like it.
That's the right time. Yeah. That's
Touché.
definitely the right time.
Touché.
So, last thing before we get out of here, I haven't asked you this question yet.
Ask away.
What does live free or die mean to you?
Live free or die means like, dude, if you're not free, are you really even alive? Mm-hmm. If your mind's not free, your heart's not free, if you can't be free with your actions, sands, infracting upon others' well-being, are you even alive? Are you even living?
That man flipped it with a question.
That's a real writer.
Go look inside. Word. Man, well, this has been dope. I think this is all I had for you. I appreciate you doing
Always,
this.
man. Thank you for having me on, dude. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Positivity is a better movement. Let us do this. Level up and get into this evolution. Revolutionary method music. Get us choosing everything but less excuses. Shout out to the kings and queens with everything to lose. They never lose it.
So much glory.